Or morality is another side of religion as an orientation to the good. It's still firmly part of the practical aspect of religion, in the sense that morality or ethics is something people have to practice, that is, they have to do. Specifically concerned with the question, what should we do? And in particular, why should we do that? The etymology of our terms points back to customs. Ethics comes from a Greek word that means character, that is, how a person customarily acts, while morals comes from the Latin word for custom, what people always do, and norms comes from another Latin word for customary or typical, what most people do. That will remind us that standards of morality have historically been set by communities, but according to religious communities, for good reasons, related to ultimate being. Different kinds of religious systems arguably stress different ethical imperatives. Monotheistic Judaism, Christianity, and Islam teach ethics as derived from divine commands, what humans owe God, namely obedience. Religions based on the wisdom of the sages arguably stress the development of virtue and character. While monistic traditions like Buddhism and later Hinduism encourage renouncing social responsibilities for the sake of spiritual attainment. But remember that religions are not uniform, and all religious traditions show versions of all these ethical approaches. In practice, the categories are less clear-cut. Jewish halakha, the rules that govern all of life, are as much worship as they are ethics. In Christianity, devotion to Jesus Christ extends to trying to act in accordance with Jesus' ethical instruction. And Buddhist almsgiving, which is an ethical imperative, has become ritualized in such a way that ethical practice comes to look like ritual. While Jewish prayer, which is ritual, can feel like moral obligation, and Christian worship is officially required of the faithful on Easter, and Buddhist meditation may be a lot less voluntary than it is obligatory in some contexts. So again, ritual practice comes to look like moral obligation having ethical qualities. This leads us to questions of balance and priority. Is it good to go to church without helping the poor? But what about helping the poor without going to church? If we're Muslims, are prayer and deeds of kindness and mercy equally good? What if you pray without doing those deeds of kindness? And in the Buddhist context, would a real bodhisattva meditate only? But if you are a householder and you can't meditate, will you be able to attain enlightenment? Ideally, the way of life of the religious person blends these ritual and ethical practices. But how often religious people achieve this desirable balance is really a question for the insiders.